All right, let's talk about the biggest news coming from this part of the world. A lot of people are excited about it.
Yeah.
What started like a rumor started getting traction, and before you know it, it was everywhere. FIFA coming to Nigeria to inspect our facilities. All right, so Cecilia, let's talk about it now. The FIFA inspection team, long-awaited FIFA inspection team, finally arrived, came to Lagos, and they toured everywhere in Lagos, from the Teslim Balogun Stadium to all the facilities around it, all the proposed match venues, proposed training grounds, accommodation, hotels. I mean, they checked everywhere, and there have been a lot of comments coming from here. The one that all of us wanted to listen to was the head of the FIFA delegation, because that will give us an indication of what is happening. That will point us in the direction. But Cecilia, we're not surprised.
No, we were not surprised at all. I mean, we at first when we heard the news, Nigeria on the 20th, is it going to be possible? Well, there they have, there they are right here, the FIFA inspection team, just checking most of the venues and all that. This is actually the legacy pitch where they will be, one of the training sites for the girls and everything. That's if Nigeria, from all indication, I know that you mentioned how we can perform the Ninth Wonders. I know that Jack Warner, mentioned that in 1999, seventh wonder of the world. So they could come today and tomorrow everything is ready and all that. So don't think you're going to be looking at legacy pitch like this the next time they visit, because it's not going to be a one-off visit. This is the first one. Just take a look. Okay, these are the venues we're using. We're going to put everything in place, because I know most people actually frown at the fact that legacy pitch, come on, it's not very good, but I trust Lagos. They're going to put everything into perspective. You mentioned that she's the one that everyone really wants to listen to. Let's listen to her, what she feels about the things they've seen so far in Lagos.
Yeah, we're very happy to be here in Nigeria looking at the facilities for the Under-20 Women's World Cup. This morning we've had a look at 2 stadiums, 2 training sites and a hospital, and also some hotels. And the whole team, we're here looking at different facilities with the consideration of Nigeria hosting the event next year in 2020. The process is in the first stages right now, so we have still a lot of work to do before final decisions are taken.
Yeah, just first stages, lots of work to do before the final decision will be taken. Yeah. And that's why after the inspection and all that, they also had to go to the government house. But before that,
yeah, it's very good you paused there, because it's good to always throw this in. When you talk about hosting, when you talk about sports, basically you look at facilities. And in this part of the world, that's the challenge. If you go to Europe, if any country wants to host, they don't need to start building structures from the scratch. But it appears that for us here in Africa, that's always a problem. And somebody that should know better, talking about A.B. Egbe, somebody who is into stadium facilities and management, he's been sharing his views and his thoughts on the problem in Africa with facilities. Let me not put words into his mouth. Let me allow you to hear him this morning. Someone who should know about facilities, having his say on the show this morning.
Developing infrastructure is one thing. The maintenance is my major problem with Nigeria and Africa. It's not just a Nigerian problem. In Africa, we have serious maintenance issues. I mean, I have about 8 geotech pitches in Nigeria, and all the 8 we've had zero maintenance. I mean, Enyimba, almost 9-10 months now, zero maintenance. Kakanda Stadium, Katsina, 4 years, zero maintenance. Apaku Stadium, Makodi, Fusion Pitch, almost 8 years now, zero maintenance. I mean, Celestia Stadium, almost 9 months now, zero maintenance. We have to try and understand that you can't invest money on these infrastructures without maintaining them. Even we as human beings, we go for medical checkup. You can't buy a car and drive for 8 months without changing oil or checking the oil. It's the same principle. We have to try and see how we can embed this maintenance culture in us. If we can embed maintenance culture in us, honestly speaking, Austin, well, Nigeria is good to go. Maintenance is a major problem. We invest money on the right infrastructures, but we don't maintain them. Look at National Stadium, for example. There's nothing wrong with a National Stadium. It's a beautiful stadium. The maintenance culture that we don't have is what is killing all our facilities in Nigeria. I'll plead with facility owners. In as much as you're spending millions of naira to construct these facilities, also understand it's important for you to maintain it. If you don't maintain it, it's going to be like a waste of money.
I mean, we could play back what he said over and over without losing any word. And I like the last part. No matter how, look, it's good that we're spending money. Spending money has never been our problem. But all of the money we spend is going to be wasted if we don't imbibe the maintenance
like the
culture.
National Stadium in Lagos is wasting away right now.
Of all the stadiums, of all the facilities that he listed, I was scared. He listed about 8, 9, and I'm like asking myself, which one is left? Which one can somebody like this mention and say this one has been properly maintained? But like you also rightly said yesterday, maybe because we want to host, we're going to step everything up.
Absolutely.
My problem is not with the hosting. My problem is life after.
Yeah, life after hosting, right? We'll see what's going to happen there. But then we also have other people talking about this one. The president of Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, is really confident that, look, Lagos is really set, and he's getting support from the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, when they went to visit him immediately after the inspection tour of the different facilities across Lagos. And he's got a lot to say because he feels that Lagos has hosted the under-17 before, and that was when the Teslim Balogun Stadium, of course, was put into newly built and all that, so everyone actually enjoyed the facility. So he's also seeking the support this time around because they know that without government, usually you can't do this alone. Let's listen to Amaju Pinnick this morning on how Lagos can actually help in the hosting of the FIFA Women's World Cup next year.
We want to use this opportunity to build a new Super Falcons. We have played in the finals twice. Now we want to leave this trophy in your domain in Lagos State for the first time. By God's grace. We've made them to understand the salience, the importance of Lagos, not just an integral part of Nigeria, not just the Los Angeles or the California of Nigeria, but also the 5th largest economy in the whole of Africa. They've come, they've seen, and I can tell you without even talking to them that they've been impressed. The narrative has been Lagos is Lagos. And we're all very proud of what they've seen so far. Your Excellency, with your support, we know we'll be able to achieve this feat. With your support and the support of the Executive Committee, Executive Council, we know we'll take football to the highest level. I believe this is very, very good for Nigeria because our female team truly, really, they've displayed high level of discipline, high level of maturity and patriotism. And I believe they should be accorded equal respect. And it's on that basis that we believe that we are going to push and make sure we host this tournament. For the first time in Africa, we hosted an under-20 Female World Cup.
All right, first time in Africa, we will be hosting the Under-20 Women's World Cup. I love the level of confidence and the fact that he said we're going to use this to build new Super Falcons. Look, we've been to the finals twice. I mean, we've been to the semi-finals, but we've never won it. So
we've
just
attended
maybe
every edition of the FIFA Under-20 Women's
one of the
World
Falcons
Cup.
to do that.
And he also said something. His optimism is very infectious.
Yeah.
I give him that. I give him
Wait
that.
till you listen to the governor of Lagos State.
Which we'll do after this. He said, look, FIFA is impressed with Nigeria.
Yeah.
That's already an indication. Okay, let's also seated right there when the NFF president was making that speech. They actually went on a courtesy call to the governor of Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. But he had something to say about the readiness of Lagos and what Lagos is always willing to give and partnering with FIFA and the NFF for the Under-20 Women's World Cup. So let's listen to the governor of Lagos having his say on the show this morning.
We understand and will appreciate, that there will be a few concerns, but I can assure you that as a government, we will give the NFF, will give FIFA all of the assurances and all of the things they require, be it on security, be it in transportation, be it in accommodation, be it in crowd management, whatever it is that typically will create an enduring and a long-lasting experience. Because we understand why we know that FIFA events are an experience, and a very positive one for that matter. I've been to a few of your tournaments, and I know how well you take issues like this. And so we want you to see Lagos as a partner that understand that you would always want your next event to be better than the last event, right? So we need to continue to raise the bar in terms of expectations, in terms of the output, in terms of the quality of engagement. So we can assure you that, you know, FIFA will have more than enough crowd, will have more than enough managed fan bases that in any form that you want it. We understand how they run it. We know that you'll always be concerned about a few things. You've seen the city. You've seen us. We're actually very, very hospitable. We are always very accommodating to foreigners, to people, you know, that are coming to our community, and we embrace it, right? So we can give you all of the confidences that everything that is expected of us as a government to make you have a worthwhile competition, to make you have a competition that will, you know, rank as part of the very, very first and the best in FIFA. We will showcase it with you.
All right, the governor of Lagos having his say what we all know,
Yeah.
and I'm impressed. You know, when you're listening to the key stakeholders
Yeah.
giving you this level of inspiring words. I mean, listen to the NFF president, what he had to say, everything top notch. And the governor of Lagos. And the part about us being hospitable, being warm, being very, very receptive. Not just Lagos, the whole of Nigeria. Regardless of what the international media says about this country. We might have our issues,
Yeah.
but we're very warm people. We're very receptive. We love our neighbors. We're the only ones who don't try to unsettle people. Even when they come to play against us, we don't pay people back for what they
Yeah.
do to us. That's the kind of people we are.
Yeah, I also love that because, I mean, if you just listen to him from the beginning, he wasn't talking about, look, we are ready to host this thing now. He says, I believe you've seen everything, and we're going to work on this now. When you come back next time, of course, everything will be ready. We have Rotimi Akindele in the studio. Rotimi works with Beat Event Classic Inspiration. I mean, okay, no, minus inspiration. Beat Classic 5-in-1. Okay, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine. I was admiring your dress. Looks nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Okay.
Let's get back to the show.
Get back to
Let's get back to the show.
Yemi is wearing a very cool shirt. I actually like it. I
You
told him
didn't
earlier,
give
so-
me time to admire.
Okay.
All right, Rotimi, it's good to have you. It's been a while, though. It's
Yeah.
good to have you here.
Wonderful.
And I'm very sure you caught a glimpse of some of the visuals that we've rolled and some of the things we've been discussing. And let's just have you say on the FIFA inspection. Some rave reviews from FIFA, the administrators as well, saying some of the things we want to hear. But I'd like to get your perspective.
I think it's good that we have an inspection team from FIFA looking to ascertain if we are able to host a particular tournament. And this time around, it's all about the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. FIFA has always been keen about, and this might sound a bit funny, but they like to go to some jurisdictions, developing jurisdictions, to take. I mean, they take some of these tournaments, these junior tournaments, or some of these jurisdictions, so that it can help grow the game and all of that. So I'm not surprised that. I mean, there's been a whole lot of when did we beat? How did it all come about and all that? Yeah, there's some insight that I've gotten, but then again, overall, I'm taking the positives from this. I think it's good. I think it's fair. There's going to be another inspection sometimes in January of next year. So hopefully, if we can convince FIFA that we're ready, I think we should get the bid. And overall, it's going to do a whole lot to the Nigerian image, the Nigerian football community. But then again, our worry as Nigerians is what happens post-tournament.
Okay, let's keep the worries to ourselves. So
Thank you very much.
We'll keep the worries to ourselves, and whatever happens after that. But first, we need to host this tournament to actually help develop most of the facilities that actually lie, wasting away in Nigeria. Okay, we talked about some teams that still be talking. We need to listen to the Deputy Governor of Lagos State talking about how Lagos is ready to host, and also the Chairman Lagos State Sports Commission, Kweku Tando, also talking about Lagos being one of the cities that FIFA will really want to allow to host some games.
It creates more interest, and then we must also build sport economy. So it's not just for people to play sports alone. We can also create living jobs out of sports. So the essence is, how do we take it to the next level? So it's part of the engagement that we as a government will also engage with our sports commission.
It went very well. I must say that they were quite impressed
with the facilities that Lagos State presented to them, the stadia facility, the medical facilities, and even the venues that we selected for training sites. We have one or two things to do to bring them up to the FIFA standard, but I think we gave a good impression to the FIFA inspectors, and I believe that the Nigerian bid has been strengthened by what Lagos has put forward.
Yeah, that's a whole lot. I mean, behind the scene, I mean, you said something. Anyway, we'll keep it to ourselves, right? Don't want to bring it up. But do you want to share it? Okay, maybe it's just...
me and myself.
No, both of you, maybe we just let the viewers understand.
No, it's just that
Perspective,
some persons are finding it a bit surprising that where did the story of hosting a World Cup emerge from and all of that.
All of a sudden?
All of a sudden. Well, it started as far back as last year, 2018.
Yeah.
So maybe we didn't put, like the normal. And then it must be said again, one of the things I learned was the bidding process is totally different from maybe when you want to host a big tournament like a senior World Cup or an AFCON or an Olympic game. So it's not usually the same thing and all of that. So, but then again, it started in 2018, and there's been talks. Maybe you want to blame the NFF for keeping it under wraps. But then again, there has been talks ever since then.
Yeah.
Initially, it should have just been held in a state. A state was bidding to host all of the 16 teams. But then again, after some, that was the initial bid that was submitted. But then again,
after thinking National Stadium.
But then again, after some talks, after some consultations, that's, you know what? Let's see if we can spread it to some other part of the state. Since we are solely focused on football development and all of that. And if you look at the states that have been picked in terms of female football, Lagos, Edo, Asaba, Delta State now, and of course Akwa Ibom, they've got strong female football following. So I think if this can happen, it's not like it's done and dusted yet that we're hosting the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, Women's World Cup next year. But if it can happen, I think it's only going to add a lot of positive vibes to female football.
Let's also throw this in the mix to allay fears in certain corners that this is going to be a jamboree, we're going to spend. That's what I thought initially.
No, it wasn't.
But what we are doing
let's put the proper picture out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of logistics and all of that, it's solely coming from FIFA. It's a developmental tournament. So you're not expected to break the banks, for you to get all this. If for instance, you fix, the state government is able to fix some of the facilities, hotels, hospitals, who enjoys it at the end of the day? It's not the 16 teams that are coming. They come for a particular, maybe 3 weeks at there and leave. But the end result or the end game
financially, FIFA is
for us.
Seriously invested in.
Of course, it's a FIFA project. So it's not like Nigeria is running out together to look for funds to meet up a particular criteria. It's just an avenue for us to develop the game.
All right.
Absolutely. So all they have to do is splash the money and develop the facilities. That's what we're looking forward to. I just want Legacy Pitch to wear a new look. At least for the sake of FC Robo, those girls are trying playing on that pitch. Okay, now you mentioned Benin City, one of the cities actually bidding to also host. I mean, the FIFA inspection team were also in Benin City. There you have them at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. I mean, it's really looking cool. Last time I was in Benin, it was like, there's no room, but I mean, I've covered. This is beautiful, huh? Okay, I think it's like this city is actually really ready.
According to the Sports Commission chairman there, Govs, he said they also heard about it. They put in a bid some 5-6 months ago.
Okay.
Already, if you're going to spread it across Nigeria, you should probably stop by at Benin City and at the Edo State to see what we're doing. And fortunately, the works at the Ogbemudia Stadium had been ongoing before that popped up. So I'm sure FIFA will be impressed with what they've seen. Just some finishing touches, and then they're ready to go. That's talking about Edo State. So it's really, I think it's coming at the right time for the people of Edo State, if they can get to be one of the host cities.
I think you'll be impressed with this. Of all the facilities I've seen so far, I think this is really looking good, like something you really don't have to do so much work on.
And don't forget as well, this works are going on because of a bid to host the Sports Festival. So there's a whole lot of upgrading that is currently going on, and it's just fitting that.
It fits into the plan.
In fact, that's the word, fits into the plan.
All right.
It's looking lovely. Well, let's listen to the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, talking about this hosting of some FIFA teams some female teams in Benin City.
If we win the bid.
If we win the bid, okay, yeah.
I know you have a very brief whistle stop in Benin to inspect some of our facilities, but I just want to assure you that we take sports very seriously here. We don't have a choice. 72% of our population is under 30 years old. So we have to engage them. They've got to be active. We've got to make them healthy. So for us, sports is a priority. And so we started investing in sports over 30 months ago when we assumed office. We decided to build mini stadia in all the local governments, of the state. We have about 20 of them under construction as we speak. In fact, one of them, we have about 4 of them that can be practiced. And we didn't start building this for this competition. We started it as part of our whole strategic plan for sports. And, we're hosting the National Sports Festival in April next year, ahead of this event. So we have to get all our facilities ready before April next year. So whatever you're going to be seeing today must be completed because we need to use them before August next year.
Okay, I love the fact that where he mentioned, look, about across the different local governments you have in the state, they're building mini stadiums across everywhere. That's good. I mean, even without this one coming in, and Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium also wearing a new look. It's not just about because you're hosting the tournament, you're already trying to develop the state in terms of sporting facilities and all that. That will obviously go a long way to help the state.
Yeah, one of the things he said was, I mean, if you have over 70% of the population
under 30,
engage them.
That's it. And I think that's a good move by the state government in Edo State. I feel it would do them a whole lot of good, really. Apart from planning to host the National Sports Festival and all of that, if you can build that culture, if you can imbibe that culture within...
Investing heavily in sports.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe Edo might just be the new hub of sports in Nigeria.
Who knows? It's possible.
We'll see. It's quite possible, and I hope we get there. And if speeches are anything to go by, the 2 governors that I've listened to have inspired me. If beats are won by how good the key people sound.
But then again, we're talking about Edo State. In Lagos, Onikon is almost ready.
It's almost ready.
So you look at it and like, okay, fine. They visited Teslim Balogun as well. And
all
the regrassing should commence if it hadn't commenced.
It's already on,
very, very soon. So you feel, although one of the things FIFA would always don't want to encourage for tournaments like this is that they don't like to take games to very big facilities now, like the Abuja National Stadium, which is 60,000 capacity. Even if the National Stadium Lagos was ready, I don't think they would have, gone ahead to pick it as one of the venues. There are talks about Agege Stadium. How well can you get it ready? It's always the last under-20 tournament in France. The stadiums were not so far apart, but they're very compact, just to encourage that, interest in locals coming and watch. And I feel if they get it to Nigeria, it won't be difficult for us to fill the stands.
No, it won't be difficult.
There's always a strategy to do that.
Precisely. And of course, they're already in Asaba, and they'll also be inspecting the Stephen Keshi Stadium. From there, they'll move to Uyo, and on Thursday they should.
And then they have a meeting in Abuja, at the end of, the
inspection.
Yeah, at the end of the inspection, meeting with, because federal government is in the know. It's not like NFF woke up one day and said,
no, it's not it. All right, that's all for the FIFA Women's World Cup. Hopefully Nigeria, when the bid to host it, I'm confident that we would do that well, especially the facilities I've seen and promised by the state governors that, look, they will do everything possible to ensure that Nigeria gets the bid to host it.